Gary Peters, a Democrat, is the incumbent in the 9th District. He says if he's reelected, his first priority is bringing jobs back to the region.
I think the most important thing is what I've been working on over these last 2 years and will continue to work on going forward, and that's about jobs. There isn't anything more important for Michigan families. There isn't anything more important for us going forward than making sure that our economy gets moving forward. So that's what I've been focused on and will continue to focus on.
His time in Washington has been filled with turmoil. He says his background as a former state senator and as a financial manager for a major investment firm gives him unique perspective on the nation's economic crisis.
One problem that continually came up for small business owners is that they couldn't get the loans that they need just to run their business, let alone to grow and to expand and to hire people. So I worked very diligently on that bill for over a year and a half. It just recently passed. The president signed it into law, and will bring lending dollars into our small businesses so that they can grow and expand. It's that kind of practical problem solving is what we need in Washington. It's why I went to Washington 2 years ago. I come from business background myself. I spent 22 years in business and in management, and I bring that practical problem-solving aspect to dealing with problems every day in Congress.
The 9th District serving Oakland County used to be heavily Republican. Peters was voted in as the representative during the Obama sweep. He says he does not fear an anti-incumbent or anti-democratic backlash that many see brewing across the country.
I think what people are looking for is for someone who is working very hard, very diligent, gets it, what's going on back home, and is out there working and fighting for them each and every day. I think that's what really drives elections. It's what I ran on when I ran 2 years ago, was about bringing practical problem solving to Congress. With my business background, as well as the fact that I know how government works to work for people. And I think that's what the people are looking for.
Peters defends his vote for national health care.
We had to end the days where you could lose your insurance because you got sick. You know, that doesn't make any sense. Oftentimes people were in a situation when they needed their insurance, they found that it could be rescinded, which was absolutely unconscionable. Or if you lost a policy because you had a pre-existing condition, it was almost impossible for you to get insurance going forward. Those are the kind of insurance reforms that were necessary and were a part of this reform.
He also voted for the stimulus bill, and while critical of the bank bailout, says he is proud that the government rescued GM and Chrysler.
Quite frankly, a lot of folks in Washington, they just didn't get it in both parties, didn't understand that the domestic auto industry is about manufacturing. And you can't have a middle class in America. I'm a firm believer you cannot have a middle class in America if we don't have a manufacturing sector. And you can't be a great country unless you actually make something. And critical to a manufacturing sector is an automobile industry. So it was very important, worked very aggressively, and I was very pleased that the Obama administration stepped up as well and took a lot of heat, an awful lot of heat from around the country to do it, but it was the right thing to do. And now we're seeing these companies come back. They're starting to hire again. We still have got a long ways to go, but had we not been there to help through a very difficult time, it would have been absolutely catastrophic for this area.
Peters considers himself a moderate, but has voted with the Democratic Party more than 90% of the time.
It has been an incredibly painful time these last 2 years, but I'm hopeful. We're starting to see things change slowly. The last 8 months we've had positive job growth, which is a big change from when I came in 2 years ago. But we still need to work to get that going further and continue to work on it, and that's why I'm focused on jobs.
He served as a lieutenant in the Naval Reserve.
That experience has given me perspective as we're dealing with issues overseas, whether it's in the Middle East. And in fact, part of my reserve duty, I spent some time in the Persian Gulf and was in the Straits of Hormuz and saw the lineup of oil tankers transiting that area, and understand that the situation with Iran, for example, that we cannot let Iran become a nuclear power, is absolutely critical for this country. It's part of national security, not only for the Middle East region, but also for world security. And it also gave me a perspective as I traveled to Afghanistan earlier this year to meet with the men and women who are serving in Afghanistan.
And he says he returns here every weekend because his heart is here with his family.
Being grounded in what really works for people back home. I'm back home every single weekend. I'm back here in Oakland County. I live in Oakland County. My girls go to public school here. I've got a 13 and a 15-year-old. My wife works in Detroit. I'm grounded in this community, and I'm fighting for this community every opportunity I get in Washington.
I'm Mary Conway, Channel 7 Action News.